Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air is sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round a fading light, seeking truth to make things right. Every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. Sweet as night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. Some promises were left to break, for every dreamer wide awake. But in the cold of fire burns, I'll let the heart burns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every ring stands now in this place for justice in the echo. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Oh, we the people hear the call, every ring stands now in this place for justice in the flow. For the silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled. Seeking justice, let truth flow. We the people, let it snow, let justice grow.
Well, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. You have arrived at Phoenix Talks. I'm Phoenix, and I am truly, honestly, very excited to be here. It may not sound like it today. There's been a lot going on, and I won't deny life can be crazy sometimes, but if you just hang in there, everything works out the way it's supposed to. So, welcome to Phoenix Talks. Again, I'm your host. This is where we rise above all the rumors, assumptions. We stay curious, ask the questions, even those who don't want to ask the unthinkable questions. And I will tell you, we think with open minds here. This is the nest where every question matters, every angle is welcome, and nothing is off limits. If this sounds like you, which I just described, welcome home. And this is where I spark curiosity that sparks the fire within many people. And I will tell you, my stream the other day has got some people saying, what the flock, and no effing way. Because if you have not seen the video, no effing way, it's almost at 5,000 views, which is a mile marker for my teeny tiny channel that nobody wants to listen to or nobody believes. That's the word on the street, but you can discredit me all you want. I'm bringing facts and receipts, and we are talking about the unthinkable here. So welcome in every single one of you. I have got an exciting stream planned for you, and let me welcome everyone in. Caleb, good to see you. Dina, thank you. Is it Dinah or Dina? tell me how you say that. I really appreciate you. Hit that like button up if you're watching on this stream. Go for it. Make it a habit. Stop making our favorite creators beg during their lives. Thanks again. I think it's just common courtesy, right? In my humble opinion. I'm going to say it 50 times if I want to. Caleb, good to see you. Good evening, Phoenix. Amanda, Les, the Nesters. And yes, you know the drill. Click that thumbs up and drop your welcomes below. You guys are all welcoming each other in. I love the little community that we've built. Absolutely love you guys. Lulu Bell, good to see you. You're an OG here. Howdy, Phoenix and Nesters and moderators. Love it. George, the white car parked there, sometimes standing there plain as day. WTF 450 after Molly's car turns, someone is there. Zoom in. Yeah, absolutely. I've said this months ago. If you guys are new to my stream, you have missed a lot here. We have been exposing the truth for quite some time. Even the loop that I've mentioned over and over. And again, last Monday's live, I said that loop. Oh, y'all, I just can't make this stuff up. I told you that car was looped and Bertie broke it down. Good for him. Cena, nice to see ya. Brenda, nice to see ya. Karen, welcome in. Amanda, good to see ya. Hope you're doing great today. Rebecca, Terry, hope you are on top of the world and staying warm in Minnesota. Karen, welcome in. Les, good to see ya. I'm glad you made it. George, look at Molly leaving. Someone turns the corner and there's a car parked. Yeah, absolutely. Almost ran somebody over. I think that's the only honest thing. They either reported in the news or that individual was picked up by that car or dropped off at that residence when that car came in. They reversed it a couple of times. They looped it. It's the same car. And I have a feeling we know what car it is and whose car it was. And I believe one of the Priuses is one of those cars that come in, drops the girls off for less than 2 minutes and leaves. That was one of the vehicles. And then the other ones were, well, we've talked about it before. Hello, Blinky, Blinky, Blinky. And, you know, crazy Thursday afternoon. Today is December the 4th, 2025. We are getting 24 days, well, 25 before Christmas. Is that right? No, we're at 21 days. 21 days. I have been so busy baking and my brain is my brain is fried from all the calculations and doubling things up and making tons of bread. Okay, so let's do this. Ink Mama, welcome in. Welcome in. Okie dokie Lisa, Living Dead Girl, welcome in. What does this say? Phoenix, I know you and Bertie are going to crack this. Yeah, we talked about this long ago. The two will put Mask Idaho on the map. Hydrant Eyes. Hi, Phoenix. Chat mods on my way to an event, but we'll catch the replay. We love the replay group. I love you all. Grace, good to see you. I'm glad you're so excited for another live and you made it. And let's just see what we've got. Phoenix, I always knew you were a star. Oh, you are so sweet. You guys are angels here, I'll tell you. That is for sure. Hit the button. Massive respect for all of you coming here, spending a little time with me. Greatly appreciate it. I feel like I should tell you, grab something to drink, kick your feet up in the air. Today's stream, we're going to drop a few truth bombs, but I'm telling you, y'all are my favorite community, my favorite people. We have built an amazing little club here, if I want to say club. All right, so let's get into it. You know, I got a question for you. You guys are going to have to drop your comments below. Cats, girls, you're on time. Don't worry about it. So let's do this. I know from my childhood, we played this game, and it was so fun to play with other people. It was so amazing. I mean, I had the best time. So we would all gather around, and one person would be it, and we would play hide and seek. Now tell me, drop a one or a yes, your choice, one or a yes, if you've ever played the game hide and seek. And I will definitely say I have. Yes, I have. I've had my fair share. Taught my kids how to play hide and seek. We absolutely love that game. Kind of like Marco Polo. You have to find the person in the pool. And this is going to be like not Where's Waldo, but truly the game of hide and seek. Because most of the stuff they want to stay hidden, you have to go seek it. You have to find it, especially in the dark. That is a good one. Absolutely. Tag. I'm a good morning. I'm driving to work. Well, listen, I am so glad you guys listen. I also played green light, red light. Yeah, I remember that one. Red light, green light. And we played hide and seek in the dark. Yeah. Yeah. Has anybody been snipe hunting? Anybody snipe hunting? There's a joke going around that I used to be a sniper. I have never been a sniper. I never claimed to be a sniper, especially a sniper in the military. My dad, however, was a Vietnam vet. He has passed on, and he indeed, in fact, was a sniper. It was not me. Let me clarify. I am not a sniper. Okay. So, since somebody started that on the internet about me, we always joke it within my family when they say, "Oh, don't you remember? She used to be a sniper." Okay. So, it's a standard joke in my family that made out from it. Yeah. Your grandfather was a sniper in World War II. Well, thank you. His service means a lot to me. My dad was in Vietnam, and yes, he was a sniper. And this is exactly what it feels like in the Idaho 4, if anybody would agree with me. It feels like freaking hide and seek. Here is, 25 documents dropped one day. Here's 2,000 documents dropped another day. Here's a couple hundred more documents and the repository that already exists of thousands of pages, even to the fact that the attorneys had to ask for approval if they could go beyond the limit of what's authorized in a court document. Yes, in fact, they did several times, which amazes me in court records that they could go beyond the standard of the law, right? That is what the law is. And they actually have to ask for permission to go outside those standards. Now, I will tell you, I have watched quite a few things between yesterday, well, I should say Monday and today, in regards to a lot of sorority issues, a lot of fraternity issues. And I will tell you, I'm not blaming 100% the frats or the sorority. But like I shared with you, the sorority was on probation for hazing, drugs, and some other things. Okay. But this is nothing new. It is nothing new because there is a article, the University of Idaho and Pi Gamma Delta was seriously in 2015 there was a controversy with them. So bad that they were mentioned in the newspaper. Not a lot of people will, do this and mention things like this in the newspaper because of repercussions. You could be ousted, you could be blackballed or not mentioned any further, right? Things like that happened. And when you begin to see patterns, and I've always talked about patterns, so this article, and I will drop it right here in the chat. So if you want the link, you can go read it for yourself. I always drop links with evidence and facts. So this was a Facebook post, and it was actually put in InsideHigherEd.com. Now, Inside Higher Ed, if you guys don't know who they are, they talk about higher education, what's happening in the industry of education, because don't forget, education is still a big, huge business in our country. They talk about students, they talk about safety, and this says fighting frats and losing. This was a dispute over how to punish a fraternity that ends in resignations of the dean of students. The dean of students resigns. Is this a pattern? They basically were talking about the tensions between University of Idaho administrators, fraternity, and chapter alumni. And it ended with the dean of students suddenly announcing his resignation after less than 3 months on the job. 3 months on the job, and this guy resigns. Okay? Now, this is something so wild. All right? There is a lot going on today. People have sent me a lot of information. I've weeded through most of it. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to talk about, but this just goes into a whole nother realm with what I was going to share today. So the dean of students is there for 3 months. There is a lot of sanctions brought against the fraternity over hazing allegations were dropped. This was in 2015. The dean of students has only been there for 3 months on the job, resigns, and he says this: I no longer believe in an environment where I can work on issues of student safety. He's basically saying there's no safety in these frats. This was the University of Idaho. Craig Chatterand, the dean of students, said, the safety of our students is the primary concern of the dean of students' office, and not being able to address concerns through our already established policies and agreements take away the effectiveness of what this office can do. This guy, 3 months in, stands up and tells the community, basically, you guys don't believe in safety. You're allowing this to take place, and it is getting worse and worse and worse, and no one listens. This was in 2015. Could the IDAHO4 crisis been averted? Possibly. Because since 2015, does anybody know, drop the number below, do you know how many deaths have occurred at the University of Idaho, in Moscow specifically? Anyone? Yeah, he comes in and say, you guys give me this job, you want me to change things here, but I have no backing. You guys aren't, really trying to push safety. Then he goes on to say, will you guys drop your comments? In the last year, several colleges and universities have made serious attempts to rein in the negative fraternity behavior. This is like breeding ground, guys. This is like, I've got a troubled child. I don't want him around my house. He's 18. This is just, in my humble opinion, speculation here. I've got a disclaimer on. I stick by it. I'm not calling anyone out. But as a father and a mother, if you've got a problem with your grown adult that is graduating from high school, and you know that this kid has problems, not maybe just mental problems, physical anger problems, whatever the trigger is, do you think it's safe to send a child, an adult, a young adult, because 26, the brain's still not formed yet, do you think it's safe to other students to send somebody like that away to college? Yes or no? There were way too many deaths. I've counted 8 so far. Christine, you're spot on the money. Top dog. Christine called it. There has been 8. 8, and then add the 4. 8 and then add the 4. That's 12. Okay? So he comes in, takes the job, says you guys aren't ready to address this behavior. Parents are sending these kids that are problem children to our organization. They're, punishing fraternities can be a messy process, guys. However, placing student affairs employees in crosshairs of Greek organizations and their very powerful alumni, you guys can go look at some of our leaders in our country and see what alumni that they are a part of. Okay? These are powerful people, and they're placing him in the crosshairs and basically saying, it's a losing battle. 3 months, he has to find a new job. Okay. This doesn't happen just in Idaho. Clemson University suspended fraternities when a sophomore fell from the bridge to his death during what parents believed had to be a hazing ritual. They called it a hazing ritual. So when Bertie and I called it a ritual, or he said it was a ritual, we've got people wigging out on us. This is in 2015. Another editor, another writer, another dean of students is calling it a ritual. So do you think it's a ritual? Yeah, must be. If it is, call it what it is. The elephant in the room has been exposed. So they say just before winter break, the official who pushed for that decision, a well-respected vice president of student affairs, was suddenly replaced. So if you're not going with the crowd, you're going to get replaced and blackballed and all this other stuff without explanation. They let him go. Ding dong, the witch is dead. That's what it says. This is Clemson University. Clemson University discussed a ban of fraternity and sorority social activities in 2010. And it seems to me these deaths are happening around certain events, certain time frames. And like I said, history repeats itself. It's an old wives' tale. And I believe that is 100% true. Because look at this. This is just an example of what I've been finding and learning, and I've talked about this before, but this is terrible. Now, I just read to you something that happened in 2015, U of I, and this actually, the next thing I'm going to show you, happened in 2023. Now, this was not at the U of I, but listen to this story of Luke Tyler, the 19-year-old student at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, January 22, 2023.
Well, 19-year-old Luke Tyler's family says they're thankful for the support, but tonight they still have questions. Tyler, a freshman pledge at Theta Chi fraternity at WSU, was found dead in his dorm room last month. Nonstop Locals Morgan Ashley joins us with their statement and where things go from here.
Yeah,
Morgan?
just a really tragic story, Steph. His parents, John and Colleen, say they are preparing to lay their son to rest, and they're trying to make sense of what happened here. The Whitman County coroner ruled his death a suicide, a fatal mix of alcohol and antidepressants. The family says in part, quote, "We continue to be grateful for the immense outpouring of support and love for our family, as well as the recognition of the impact that on the many lives that he had touched." They add they're working with investigators to figure out how he went from a positive and compassionate young man to facing depression so deep he took his own life, saying, quote, "He had shared with close friends that he was at his breaking point due to hazing at Theta Chi, and we continue or look forward to learning the truth about his experience." Now, we did reach out to Theta Chi to see if they have a response in this. They did not get back to us. While we don't know if hazing played a role in his death, his friends have set up an online petition, and they're calling for an investigation into the fraternity. They have nearly 12,000 signatures so far. There is a scholarship fund in Luke Tyler's name, so if you feel moved to donate, we do have that link up on our website, nonstoplocal.com. Steph.
All right, thank you. Well, if you are
Crazy, crazy things happening in and around, obviously, Idaho and in the area of Pullman, which I thought was just a little strange and odd. And one thing that I did notice, that mixture would give an overdose. You would. Absolutely. That mixture would give you an overdose. I agree. Some of these things are odd how they code these deaths or accidents. No, it's telling me that he wasn't, but there is a link below with his name. FUAI. Oh my gosh. Idaho, Idaho. You guys are crazy. According to the release, he died of an acute intoxication due to a combination of alcohol and an antidepressant. And it's crazy. The matter of death was ruled as a suicide. And 2023, the investigation was still going on, nor WSU didn't speak either. Because remember, there are guidelines that some fraternities and frats have to report this stuff. Okay, Sam's Law made that happen. Sam was somebody who was going to Pullman, and same thing, hazing, and unfortunately, it happened to him. But the law has changed that. Fraternities have to disclose the accidents or incidents at WSU. Do they do them? Has anybody followed up in regards to frats? Let me just take a look real quick. There is a transparency report. Okay, so they're complying. Let me show you what I found. There is a transparency report. It's by law. And let me just see this before I show you what else I wanted to talk about, because this gets wild. You know, does anything ever really get done in regards to transparency? I mean, do you think that they're abiding by the law? Let me see if I can get this transparency report up. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Here it is. So let's say what they have to say about this transparency report. All right. So WSU says they'll maintain and publicly report findings of hazing violations of any student organization. So fall of 25, it's already happened at Delta Gamma, an incident on 9/19. Investigation date, hearing date is 11/4/25. Let's see what happened. I mean, it's just, the cycle is never ending. It's just another day, another time. Okay. So the organization co-hosted a special event during which hard alcohol, was present and consumed by a minor. ID checks were not conducted and wristbands were not distributed. Alcohol consumption occurred in multiple individual member rooms, resulting in limited oversight and risk management coverage through the event space. That is interesting. Because a while back, I would probably say 3 or 4 months ago, there was an individual that was connected to all these fraternities. Her name was Kim, and she was at Pullman special events, and all these fraternity guys were messaging or Venmoing her for drinks. Somebody who worked in the event space was either selling, I don't know, something, coding them as drinks on Venmo by the name of Kim. And she works for Pullman Events, by the way. All public information. I'm not sharing anything that is private. This is all public information. Venmo is public. If you don't have it set to private, people can look at anything that you spent your money on. Charges with responsible finding, reckless endangerment, alcohol, and who sold this? A co-hosted social event. Hard alcohol. Spring, Gamma Lambda, Beta Theta, Sigma Nu, Sigma Chi, Fall. Here's all the incidents. I cannot believe my eyes. I've never even bothered to check until today, just right now. Never even thought about checking. What is it about fraternities that now they have to be transparent? Look at all these incidents. And they are still active. Just like Kylie's case with pizza and Venmo. Oh, interesting. Deja vu. Did I happen to see Birdie's live last night? I caught part of it. Yeah. And I am so I mean, when Bertie told me almost a week and a half ago, you know, I was dumbfounded. I was brokenhearted. I will tell you. It was shocking. I mean, first baby, excited, getting ready to move, and everything can just change in a heartbeat. So if you guys watch Bertie, please give him and Audrey some prayers. They really need it. I've been there before. My first miscarriage was awful, heartbreaking, and been through it a couple of times. So you guys keep him in your prayers, keep him in your thoughts. You know, sometimes we don't talk about, um, you know, how do I want to phrase this? Things heart. How do I want to say this? The heart of the matters, right? Sometimes we don't. We keep our private life private. Sometimes it's okay if we open up, but you know, Bertie didn't have to share that with the nest. He didn't have to with the hive. Sorry, he didn't have to share that with the hive, but you know, I'm sure that you guys knew that something was not right with Bertie, and he was a little off for the last couple of weeks. And, you know, I get the same way. You know, something catches my eye and I just dive into it, and everything else happening around me, it's a way to get me through. And to tell you the truth, he told me last week, right before Thanksgiving, when we went live on Tuesday night, right, told me minutes right before the live. And that had to have been probably the most awkward live that I've ever been on, with getting news like that right before we went live, because it was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for me to see him on that live, knowing, you know, we still show up. We show up for our streams. We, you know, it's a way for us to escape reality for a little while. And we are really focused on exposing the truth here in the Idaho 4. So, you know, I know Les, I kind of put that on the back burner with every freaking new document that came out. I'm almost done editing it, but as you know, I've had some personal things in my own life I've had to take care of, and I did put that, you know, on the back burner. But you know, just keep praying for Bertie and his family. I know he would appreciate that we would, and you know, it's very simple. Sometimes we just don't talk about personal things like that, and sometimes we need to be able to move and heal, to move on and recover. And I'm glad that he did that. So I see, you know, I'm just trying to share a little bit. We all have issues. We're all a little older. We all have issues. And, you know, I'm going to go, I'll probably do that on my next stream, Caleb and Les. I'm going to show you exactly some of the secret things that I've learned in this frat sorority um, environment with Venmo. You guys will be blown freaking away. I mean, I can show you all the screenshots from the people here in this case that will blow you away. I will get all that ready and break it down for you there. There was some things happening in and around that time, and Venmo, or any type of payment payer, most of these people have changed their names and put them on private now because they know a lot of people look into things like this. Um, and, you know, sometimes you catch some things going on, and that's the reality of it. But again, they put it out there. It's hidden on purpose for hide and seek. What else did they hide from us, guys? I'm going to show you something that is very, very just odd in this case. And we're going to talk it out. I'm going to let you see the evidence, and let's talk this out, because this is really odd. Okay. And they're not just to dispel rumors, it's a matter of reference, because when you see the evidence that the state had and why they were going to talk about it, or why they were going to let Ann talk about it, why they were going to bring all these frats. Because if you went in the witness list, like I said before, 80% to 90% of those witnesses were who? Frats in the sororities. Okay? And besides the professionals, if you look at it. And you start breaking it down, start looking at these individual names, and you're seeing professionals. I counted them out because professionals need to get up there on the stand and testify to what their best guess or their best experience would lead them to. Now, here's one rumor that we can put to rest in this hide and seek thing. And one of those rumors was, let me ask you if you guys know this. Does anybody know if Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan had toxicology reports done? Type a yes or a no. Does anybody know? Do you believe they did toxicology reports? I want to help teach you and show you that they factually did. All 4 of them in yellow. They all had toxicology labs done. But here's the crazy part, okay? In the court documents, I thought it said the reports were clean. Okay, well, their reports could say they're clean. But let me tell you what is the freakest, wildest thing when you look at these reports. Okay? Toxicology report. Let's start with Ethan. 12/5/22. Ethan Chapin, the toxicology report, dated 12/5. Okay, that's fine. 2 weeks later, you get the report. 3 weeks later, perfect. Xana, same date as Ethan, 12/5. Okay, great. But why is Madison's back on the 30th? Maybe they did hers first? Not sure. Not sure. But look at Kaylee's on 12/12. Why did they wait so long to do Kaylee's? Why would a report take that long? I mean, we can take our best guess and probably assume I'm going to take this and I'm going to ask ChatGPT just while we're here, why would it take so long for one of the IDAHO4 toxicology reports to come back so late? I'm just curious. I don't want to say what I think. I want to see what is there anything you can tell me about this pattern that I cannot see with the human eye? All right, let's see what it tells me. Here is your AI investigator lens that can help with this pattern, including things that the human eye does not naturally pick up. The pattern you posted is that the 4 toxicology labs, Madison, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana, Kaylee's was the only one returned significantly later. Okay, I said that, right? That's 12 days later than Maddie's. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, I need to make a payment for ChatGPT. And 7 days later than Ethan, and 7 days later than Ethan and Xana. This is not random, okay? Not random. Hopefully I can make this a little bigger. No, it's not. Okay, well, it is what it is. Usually affects the turnaround for tox report. What usually does? Toxicology processing times can vary for several legitimate and non-legitimate reasons. Additional panels or substances requested. Wow, this lines up to when we heard the testimony of what was her name? Gosh, Kayla, what was her name? I know Caleb knows. Kayla something. If detectives or the coroner thought Kaylee might have had prescription drugs, rare substances, alcohol cross interaction, or pharmaceutical compounds. Yes, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. This lines up to maybe what Kayla Nguyen was saying in her interview. Do you guys remember that interview? Let me pull it up because this, wow. I just had like an epiphany moment. Wow. N-Y, how do you spell it? Nguyen. Holy moly. That just makes a lot of sense. Hold on.
And Ethan, like, they're more like outgoing people. Like, they hung out with like different like friend groups. Like, they didn't really stick to kind of like the same friend group. So I don't know. They're just more social. So
Okay.
I'd say. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any?
Do you know if Maddie or Kaylee had like a boyfriend recently or an ex-boyfriend, anyone that they were kind of seeing?
So, Kaylee, let's see, she dated this kid a couple of years. They were high school.
I'm trying to
sweethearts,
find
but, Kaylee, last time I talked to her, a couple days ago, she was just talking about how, like, obviously when she graduated, like, she was looking for an apartment in Texas, and she met this guy, he was going to be her roommate. And then, yeah, I don't live at the anymore. I live at the at the Whites.
Oh, you live at the Whites? Okay, which one?
Okay, so she does live at the Whites, so they probably were at hers. Now, hold on, I'm trying to find.
What apartment number?
On the left.
Perfect. Okay. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
A lot. Did you have any follow-up questions on?
So Santa was into coke.
Yeah.
What about Ethan?
I'm not sure about Ethan. I don't know her boyfriend that well.
And these questions, we're not trying to
No, you're totally
make
right.
anyone
Right.
So Santa was into coke.
Yeah.
What about Ethan?
I'm not sure about Ethan. I don't know her boyfriend that well.
And these questions, we're not trying to
No, you're totally
make
right.
anyone
Right.
bad. We're just trying to. There's several avenues. Do you know at that house if they were selling drugs? If there was a lot of people that are selling drugs, or was it just kind of you go to a party and you use kind of thing?
I think it was more of like they would like go out and they would do coke, but they weren't selling.
Okay, so at their residence, it wasn't known as a drug house or anything like that. They wouldn't keep any quantities of coke or Xanax, Adderall, anything like that.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Did Kaylee ever mention to you or anybody, or did you ever hear from anybody? Did she ever and maybe have a stalker or
Okay,
someone?
so we just now heard what we were looking over in the toxicology. So let me go back to this. And so additional panels or substances may have been requested if the detectives or the coroner thought Kaylee might have had those things in her system. Now, this interview, guys, look at the date. It says, thanks, Connor, for this. It says the 15th of November. That's when that interview took place. And the autopsy report, obviously, they probably went back and the labs, it says NMS labs might have had to run extra panels, okay? Extra panels. And that's what could have delayed the results. Wow. Other cops in different cities would lock you up for a roach. That's just about true. In Idaho, yeah, they don't tolerate any drugs, but I wonder what happened since now all this has been out in the public. So it says, if Kaylee's biological evidence arrived later, required recollection, needed confirm labeling, had moisture temperature issues, then it gets queued to the lab later at a later date. Lab prioritization. Obviously, first cases in cleaner, simple samples first. Samples need fewer tests first. Okay. And then it says if Kaylee's was more complex chemically, it moves into a brand new queue that could take longer. And that's probably why this report says 12/12/22. Not that essentially Kaylee might have died on 12/10. That's one of the rumors out there. Don't ask me who started that rumor. Don't ask me why it says that her date of death was 12/10. I don't know. We have no one that can absolutely verify that. And if you've not hit the thumbs up button, do so quickly before you get expired. I'm just kidding, folks. I'm so kidding. Okay, so let's get the number up there. So if Kaylee's was more complex chemically, it moves to a new queue. Makes sense. They need confirmation testing. So if it was ambiguous, it could be 7 to 14 days. Well, that makes sense. Or the coroner or Ellie requested a hold. If they requested hold, then obviously they would hold the samples, compare it to phone data or witness statements, cross-match with other timelines, and this can quietly delay a release. And maybe that is why, in my humble opinion, that Steve, her dad, was so upset because they weren't giving her much information. There was something going on. Remember, Kaylee seems to be the only one they targeted. In my humble opinion, they targeted. That's pure speculation in regards to financial data, records, subpoenas, warrants, all these things. It seemed like hers was more looked into from the public records that have been released to us. The part you can't see, but AI can see in the pattern is here's what stands out, analyzing the pattern mathematically and procedurally. Now, if you know, my math is not very good. And if not, I have just told you that my math is not very good. Just like when my gas tank says E, it doesn't mean enough. It actually, in reality, means empty. Put gas in the car. I have to remind myself that. Okay. Now, I know basic math, but obviously, after you've had a stroke and you've recovered quite well, your math skills, if they were bad before, they're probably even worse. Now, AI observation that the reports are not randomly late. The order they came back is strange because the timeline does not follow the alphabetical order in the autopsy order, the victim order, or the sample order number, which I said that the other day. It didn't make sense the order they put them in. Instead of the pattern, it hints at complexity-based lab sorting. Maddie was a simple panel, fast. Ethan and Xana, similar panels, same day. But Kaylee's, something was very different. Hers was last. It suggested that Kaylee's required an extra level of analysis. Okay? Yeah, that's a really good statement. Idaho doesn't tolerate drugs. What am I thinking? The opposite. No, they're very strict on drugs, guys. I'm telling you. I don't know how they got away with this. Don't ask me. So it says Kaylee, observation 2 is Kaylee's lag is exactly long enough for GCMS confirmation. Standard immunoassay, 12 to 72 hours. And then the confirmation is plus 5 to 12 days. Kaylee's is 12 days later, a perfect match for initial test found a substance and confirmation was required. Now, this is ChatGPT. Does this mean it's correct? No. This is just an observation, suggestion, speculation, and assumption. Okay, based on the information that I inputted was the exact same information I showed you right here in the yellow. And I asked it to take a look at it that the human eye couldn't process or see. Excuse me, I got hiccups. It says if all 4 had the same tox panel, they didn't, clearly. This means that one victim's chemistry differed. And obviously, they're probably calling it Kaylee's because it took longer. Idaho doesn't do the math, they do math. Actually, apparently at the college, perhaps. All possibilities lead to metabolite different levels, possible prescription medication, alcohol interactions, substance degradant, and post-mortem interval differences, contamination, or blood required redo. It just explains the delay. The coroner's early statement conflicts with this delay. The coroner said immediately that there were no drugs involved, but Kaylee's tox wasn't returned until the 12th. Then the coroner spoke before having all the toxicity in hand. This suggests checkmate. Checkmate. Look at the dates on here, guys. 11:30, 12:05, 12:12. The coroner spoke before having all toxicity results in hand. So freaking busted. This suggests it was all premature conclusions, public reassurance overriding procedure, inconsistent internal timelines. This is another hidden hide and go seek pattern. Check freaking mate. 3 of them had drugs in their system, and I can prove it. Send that over to Amanda, and Amanda will send me the screenshots that you send her. Oh my gosh. Okay, now let's just think about this for 1 second. I want to get a pulse on the chat here and all you participants, because you're here of your own free will to listen and learn. So what I just showed you, there's another key component to this I want you to look at. Okay, look at this. Tell me what you see from the state's numbering sequence. 16, 17, 18, 19. Out of order, right? This is super important. The numbers are consecutive, meaning that all the samples entered evidence workflow together. So it wasn't evidence submission delay. It was lab side analytical delay. That's important. And the most likely reason being is based on all the patterns. Kaylee's toxicology likely needed additional confirmation testing, or the test was inconclusive, contaminated, or had to be rerun. There was a 12-day gap. Lab processing logic. Any lab assistant here could probably say the same thing. The sequencing number was consistent, grouping the other 3 victims and the return dates. So what do you think? They funked up big time. I love that. Oh my word. Ashley, I saw the grab check video too, but we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. That is wild. That is wild. Okay, so when you take a look at the details and what we're looking at today, you have to ask yourself, we're playing hide and seek. It's hidden on purpose, guys. Totally hidden on purpose. What else in this case do you think has been hidden on purpose that they wanted us to go seek and find? We don't know that. Yeah, that rumor needs to be stopped. Can we please stop talking about whether or not Maddie or Kaylee was pregnant? Now, let me just tell you one thing. And this is very logical, common womanly advice and sense with logic and facts. If any of these girls, Kaylee, Maddie, or Xana, were pregnant, in fact, don't you think the individuals who did this would be charged with 5 murders instead of 4 murders? Think about that for a minute. Sometimes rumors are rumors to throw you off track. And boy, I'm going to give you a freaking doozy. This is going to make you think, what the flock? What the frickety flock is going on? Listen to the rumor someone had sent me. Okay? This just takes the cake, folks. This will blow your ever-loving mind. Let me get to my message. Hold on. I swear, sometimes I just want to scream and pull out my hair. We have to use logic. We have to. Some of these lies are made up to distract you from the truth. Stop believing the lie. Okay? Just stop it. It's not going to do you any good to continue to believe a lie. And this lie is one of the biggest lies that I've seen yet. I'm going to call it out for what it is. I want you to listen to this audio. In no way, shape, or form do I support this audio. I don't know if the audio's factual and truthful, but I do know that someone sent it to me and I said, okay, I'll play along. Let me listen to the audio. I'm going to let you guys decide what you're hearing. I'm not going to tell you what I think until after we hear. And let me just pull it up so you can hear it for yourself, because this is just wild in my humble opinion. And we will break it down step by step. This is wild. All right. Someone has sent me this. Let me share this instead. Here we go. I don't know who made this audio. I do not endorse this audio. Turn up your volume if you need to hear this. Someone has said they analyzed this audio, and I just have to give you a big disclaimer here. Huge disclaimer. If you don't want to hear something that may be really gruesome, please don't listen. Okay? So I will give you, and I will talk about possibly the fifth victim. I promised that I would talk about that. But let's just focus on this for 1 second. Okay? Brace yourself. This is a warning. If you don't like listening to things like this, then turn it off, lower the volume, unplug for a minute, take a deep breath. This video is only 1 minute and 14 seconds, but we are going to talk about it and we are going to break this down. These things do happen, folks, but I'm not endorsing this video until we talk about it. Here we go.
Now we're right. I'll go here. So this one
Did everybody hear that? Did I disappear? Did I get dropped? I checked. Let me hold on a minute. I can hear you. Can you guys hit me? Having trouble connecting. Okay, hold on one second. Let me see if I can get back in here. Am I here? Testing. Testing. Can you hear me now? I got it. Let me try again. All right. You can hear me. I can hear myself. So hopefully, I don't know what happened. Just as soon as I started playing that, cut me out. So I can hear myself loud and clear. So let's continue. How's that sound? All right. I'll play the video again. And then we'll see what happens. All right. Let's try this again. Never fails, right? Here we go.
That's just now war right now.
So the female says that is his style more, right? Laughing in the background, and one male says, yep. It's cold as F out here. I'm about to go inside. So to me, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if this audio is valid. I don't know where this audio came from. But it sounds to me like people are outside, okay? And I don't know why it says it's cold as F out here. I'm about to go inside. In my humble opinion, perhaps they are on the back patio, or they are perhaps out on a balcony. I mean, would you guys probably agree to that? I'm just breaking this down, what somebody has sent me. I don't know if it's true or not, but let's just go through this exercise. Male says what? Female says inside. One male can't determine what is being said. Male one inhales something. Female one, no, just come back out. I'm up top. Okay. So I think, in my humble opinion, maybe they were outside on a balcony. Now, this is the oddest thing ever. I'm going to turn it back just a little bit. And did you hear the beep, beep? Where? Okay, I'm going to throw you a doozy. Where have you heard these before? Linda Lane audio, right? Beep, beep. Where else have you heard that? Smoke alarm? What? There's a male voice on the video someone enhanced. There's more at the beginning. I've heard this. Okay. This was the first audio that was leaked after the crime. No, a video someone in my collective enhanced, and you can hear a lot. That YouTube channel has so much potential, Les. Car alarm. Didn't it sound like a car alarm? Okay, now we can go to Linda Lane archives. And I didn't hear the beep beep. I was guessing. I thought it was a beep beep, like close to the parking lot. The parking lot, I don't know at what time it was. I think it was like 4:23 maybe. Let me go to the Linda Lane archives. We hear the beep, beep. Hold on a minute. Let me pull it up and then I'll overlay it and see if it's the same thing. Beep, beep. What time was that? Maybe 2. My car does that. Yeah. Oh my God. It's in the video I just sent you. Yeah. So in this video, we hear the car at I don't know, was it at 4? Gosh, I'd have to go back through this. I think it's this video. I have, let me see, hold on. It's a knife, run, go, they got a knife, guy screams, dog. Where is the car? The car beeps, beep, beep. Where is it? Car trunk, screams, footsteps. I know it's in one of these. It sounds like a beep, beep. Maybe it's at 2. Hold on, let me go back to a different video. Maybe it's at 2. You hear people screaming. 6 car beeps. 127. Hold on. 127. 127. You can hear people screaming. Someone got in their car. People yelling, getting in their cars. Sounds like that truck. If in fact it was around this time, I believe that, remember, we went over the testimony. Dylan, Bethany, 3 or 4 other girls were walking, and one witness saw him outside around this, before 2 a.m. time frame. Car doors are closing. People are leaving. Yeah, there was a beep beep at the Banfield around that time frame. Someone's leaving. Okay, so I've waited. It says 127, 6 car beeps. So let me go back to the Banfield. Hold on. But this double beep happens a couple of times. Trying to listen for it. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to this one. So you guys are thinking it's more around the 3 a.m., the beep beep. I'm hearing no, no.
These were the people footage with.
So they're backing out. Let me see if we can hear them. Shit, where'd it go? Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that one was 4 beeps, guys. That was 4 beeps. That wasn't just 2 beeps. So this audio here, this audio has to be a separate time. That was 4 beeps on the band field. So I'll go through and I'll find that 2 beeps. Did you guys hear that? Hello? Did I miss you guys? Okay. So listen to this. Listen to this as we ride along. It's 4 beeps here. Listen.
Hey guys, Moscow PD. Come over here, talk to me. Moscow PD. Hey, is that beer?
Okay.
Is that beer in your hand?
It went 4 beeps. Beep, 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 beep. Did you guys just hear the beeps? I can't hear the sound of the video. Maybe it's just me. Oh, shoot. I'll play it again. Hopefully you guys... Yeah, the beeps are all in the camera.
Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand?
That's 4 beeps. In the audio that we just listened to, there's only 2. So this had to have been another time, but I remember clearly, and that's a different beep. I remember clearly in the Linda Lane footage, there are 2 beeps. Hold on. So I will find those 2 beeps and line it up. Okay, this says the second floor sliding door closes. Ethan, it's allegedly Ethan. Kaylee and Maddie begin screaming. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Okay, and this is why. Let's break it down. Let's go back to this original document shared by the state. All right, so not only did we talk about the toxicology reports, but look at the death certificates. Look at the dates of the death certificates. Look at the numbers coinciding in order as Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Kernodle. All right, but this doesn't make sense in regards to the grand jury exhibit. When you put things in a legal chronological order, and they submitted this to the grand jury, Exhibit 22 is second. Exhibit 20 is first. Okay? I know math a little bit. I know numbers, and 20 comes before 22. So who was it on number 20 that was first? That was Ethan. So how can we say that Ethan, in this audio that someone's claiming, that this is Ethan and Maddie and Kaylee were screaming? I don't believe they were. I don't believe so. Because in my humble opinion, it looks like Ethan went first, then Xana, then Maddie, then Kaylee. That's the order, in my humble opinion, that they passed. So that would be Ethan, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. So this could not possibly be true. I believe, in my humble opinion, I think somebody has released this to make us believe this for a reason. And let's listen to the rest of this. And then they say, there goes Ethan and Xana. Okay? That's what someone says. So they say Ethan opens the bathroom door while peeing, can hear screaming going into the toilet. Now, I don't believe this, in my humble opinion, that this audio is even factually, partially true. We can debunk this audio very quickly. All right? Because if Ethan was in the bathroom, he could hear the screaming. If Ethan was in the bathroom. And we know for a fact what comes next is kind of crazy. But let's just walk through this process logically and talk about it. Ethan, you need to pace yourself. Now, why would Ethan say anything like that? That's just a bunch of hogwash. Xana's bedroom door opens. Kaylee and Maddie's screams become louder based on the positioning of the camera being close to Xana's room. Now, somebody was trying to tell me there was professional audio visual inside the house. Now, if there was professional audio visual inside the house, and factually it exists, don't you think, in my humble opinion, I mean, if you think about it, listen to this. If Maddie and Kaylee and this audio was anywhere in the state's exhibit, don't you think they would have had proof listed in their evidence of audio with the next upcoming thing that was said in this audio, folks? Think about it for a minute. Okay, did anyone catch? Ethan, hey, Brian alerting him. Is that bloodstains looking at Xana, referring to K&M? And then Ethan says, Brian Koberger, looking at Brian. Somebody has placed this out there. Okay, this is the funny part. This is the hilarious part. The police and the detectives have already stated, and the FBI and the prosecutor, that they couldn't place Brian Koberger inside the house. They couldn't place him anywhere near 1122, guys. This is freaking wild. And this is the stuff that you look at and you have to logically think this is insane in the membrane. They are trying to still twist the narrative and brainwash you. Why is that? Why is this? This is hilarious because I just want to say this. First of all, if there were other witnesses, because if you go back and listen to the audio, once again, folks, it says that there are other males present, other females present that could testify themselves that Brian Koberger was in this house, but nothing is in the state's exhibits. Nothing. No witnesses listed. No testimony given. Who was it that was going to say it was definitely Brian Koberger? When in fact, what does his attorney say?
if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Now, they couldn't even put him in the house, near the house. No blood, no. I mean, guys, FBI reports say no victims, nothing in his car, tore that mother fricker apart, tried to find anything, and then you have the ISP and MPD standing there saying, nope, we couldn't find anything on him. We really super tried. We super tried. And then to send me this and say, okay, well, there's an audio out there. It's all true. It's all factual. And then all these witnesses here, you never see them say, I've seen Brian Koberger. Nobody knows who the hell this guy is. I think he's a Fed that, or an informant, or some type of person that took the fall for the state of Idaho and the University of Idaho and the frats and the sororities so that they would not be punished, in my humble opinion. Okay? This is crazy to send me something like this and not make me logically break it down. Now, if this person who did this video is saying that they are a witness, step forward and clear Brian Koberger, or step forward, identify yourself, and basically say you saw him at the scene of the crime. Who put this together? This is wild bullshit. Okay? This is another what the flock moment are you guys thinking? This is a bunch of social narrative warfare. Honestly, yes. 100%. 100%. So everything is hidden on purpose. They're still playing with this narrative. Let me ask you guys, you are a bunch of smart individuals in this nest. Why do you think they keep, I mean, it's just as bad as the bananas, right? Why do you think the media keeps badgering or keeps talking bad about Brian Koberger? Why do you think that is? Anyone have an idea? I'm just curious what you think. Totally curious. And I kind of came back to the conclusion because it sells. It's getting them clicks and views and ratings. Bam. It's getting them the ratings. If they keep talking about bananas and they keep talking about how he's not liking it in prison, well, he did bad things. Yeah, you're going to end up in prison and you're not going to like it. They want to keep us distracted. They want to keep, this is it also. They want to keep up the narrative because people like me, Birdie, DNA, they had DNA too, DA, Lana, and all the other people out there are sharing the truth. This shit is bananas. Yeah, it is. To keep the truth hidden, and it's hidden on purpose, just like when you play hide and seek. Because you know what? You might learn their BS games that they play on our human psyche. Think about it. So they set him up again by putting the videos out there like this. They want people to keep believing he is guilty. So yeah, I'm going to hire a bunch of social media people. I'm going to hire a bunch of audio people. I'm going to hire a bunch of people that are going to go out there, and I'm going to pay them to shift the narrative. And I'm going to keep people believing that this guy committed 4 homicides, not 5. No one was pregnant. If they were pregnant, they would have charged him with 5. 4 homicides. And honestly, while they were sleeping, because I want to scare the bejeebus out of you tonight, will you try to go to sleep and keep thinking about the IDAHO4? Okay? That is why they keep selling you the narrative, because there are people unlike you and me that believe this stuff. They're believing this stuff. They want us to keep, they want us to keep quiet, stop digging, stop asking for answers. And I showed you yesterday with one of their little techniques they did. Item 4 was all consumed, not used. Jacket was accidentally sprayed. Are they trying to get themselves out of a mistake that just took off like crazy? What's the real hidden story behind the Idaho 4 that we are trying to unravel? What is the truth here? Is there really a truth? Is there really a truth? Spread awareness. We the people have had enough of this BS, right? I don't believe Dylan's LinkedIn contact was to homeowner. I've said this a dozen times. I will tell you, the more crazy stuff people tag me in or share with me and trying to get me to believe one thing or the other, my logic kicks in and says, interesting. They probably want me to stop looking at the forensics. They want me to stop talking about the autopsies. They want me to stop talking about, possibly, the toxicology that was taken. Someone has just sent me a document. I'm going to take a peek at. Hold on. I was told to send you this. Okay, let me just take a peek. Let me send this, and I will throw this up on the screen because somebody asked me to take a look at this. Okay, hold on. Let me put it up here. I'll take a look and listen and see what they've got for us. Give me a minute to put it up here. Yeah, because people aren't asking the right questions. Interviewers weren't asking the right questions. Journalists weren't asking the right questions. News reporters weren't asking the right questions. The only person that I have ever seen in this case ask the right questions was Mike, the reporter, prior investigator. That's the only one that I have seen in this freaking case ask questions. Only one. Video. Let's see if this is the actual video that was sent to me. All right. If you want all these documents, you can go right on over to Justice for All. Amanda just put it up there. I've got the link, Amanda. I'm waiting for it to load. Hold on. Let me forward this. Let me see if it'll play. I think this is from Anonymous. Hold on a minute. Why is that not playing? Give me 1 second. For some reason, it doesn't want to send it to me. Hold on, let me try a different way. All right, let's see if this works. So here's the deal. Mike got chased out of town. Yes, he did. I believe that 100%. We need Mike back on the scene. We need to know what Mike knows. Maybe somebody can get in touch with them. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice. Does anybody know where Mike ever went? I thought he wasn't with the local station. I think that's why they threw him out. Chased him out of town. I've heard about things like that before. Those things do happen. Okay, here we go. I'm going to send this up on the stage and let's see if you can hear this. So this is sent to me by Anonymous. When it all went bad, starting with Ethan, and this time frame is at 1:20 a.m. I don't know. This has got 54 minutes. I don't think we're going to watch it all. Let me play it in double speed. Is there a certain, Anonymous, is there a certain time frame that we need to take a look at? Amanda, maybe you can text him and see, but we'll listen.
Hey folks, I'm just doing this video to show where I think everything started on this night.
That sounds like Sherlock Holmes.
November 13th, 2022.
No shit, Sherlock.
Where I think the murders started to happen. And just like pay attention to everything that's happening, all the around, what's being said, names being said. There's even a car that goes by, and just pay attention to this. And I'll show you other clips that have supposedly been debunked, but this video corroborates them. So I'll start it here. So the guy comes up and says, "Where the fuck is the little punk?" And then you hear Bethany saying, "Logan." A guy answers, "Yeah." She says, "It's him." And we know at the end of the video it says David Loach, David Berry. And then that Logan guy, who I think is Logan Kelso, and I'll show you why in a little bit here. And yeah, they're there to cause a disturbance, obviously. Talking about law enforcement, how they're parked and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So obviously Bethany knows what's going on here. She knew who was coming over. There's even a guy telling the guys to get right because you know what the hell is going to happen if they don't. So you just hear her, "Whoa, Ethan." So Ethan must have retaliated, right? And now we're going to hear some disturbing shit. So trigger warning. You hear that? The guy went into his car, and then Zana's yelling, "Quinn." Obviously, it was Quinn must have went in his car when he grabbed, right? And Barry, please, Barry, they're pleading for them not to go in there after Ethan retaliated. Now your boy's really gonna get it. Zana's like, "Don't fucking start." She says that. That means that clearly there's been beef. Now your boy's really gonna get it. Don't fucking start. I just might kill you, he says. I think that was Loach saying that shit. Sounded like Loach to me. This car going by right at this point.
Okay, yeah, so that's the same audio that I played in one of my other videos, short videos. I don't know if you guys remember this one, right? It kind of starts out at the same time. They've blurred a lot of stuff out here. You can hear it from this. But you know what? This is the same area on the Linda Lane footage that you hear that double beep beep. So I'm wondering if those double beep beeps with that audio actually lines up, because it could factually be some audio that's been captured and then obviously thrown into for context. Because here is my humble opinion. I believe that the university and the police had an obligation to set a certain narrative, okay? And then the opposite didn't believe that the police were going to run with this narrative. They were out to put these audios, out to put as much video, hired social media, hired other people to push the agenda that contradicts everything we've been told, to make us question the narrative. And this is why we see videos like this of the actual audio in the background, because they wanted the truth to be told. Okay? Somebody wanted the truth to get out there. Somebody had hoped somebody would pick it up and shared it. That is my humble opinion. They did not want this to be buried. They don't want it to be buried. Whether who leaked it, have no idea. Absolutely no idea. However, I will say whoever leaked the audio knew the truth, and they wanted the truth to be out there. Now we have enough people sharing the truth. Maybe now somebody will take notice, because all it does is it takes one person to show them a little bit of truth in the hide and seek game that we've been uncovering for a while, for people to take notice and say, hey, these people are serious about all this exculpatory evidence. Now, if this is some social project or somebody's PhD or whatever, they got us hooked. We focused our attention on this for a long time. There's always something new that's going to be found. Okay? So this came from Anonymous Seeing Eye. That wasn't Sherlock. It sounds like his voice, but there's a little similarity there. But I will say this, in regards to the hide and seek game, let me ask you a serious question. I mean, all 151 of you should be hitting that like button. I'm about to ask you a hard, tough question. And this is for every single one of you. Should we continue to seek what they hid on purpose? Or should we just say, they got us, and end it and say, well, he's in prison. Good luck. What are your thoughts? Drop them below. On the way out, should we continue playing hide and seek? I'm going to keep digging. I don't know about you, if you're going to keep on coming back. I'm going to keep sharing more information with you. You don't want to miss my next live. It is wild. I'm going to go over some analysis. I think what the flock, what the cluck, whatever you want to call it. I think we need to keep on playing hide and seek, because at this point, I've got checkmate, and we dig. We all dig together. What was the saying? When one digs, we all dig. That is our saying now. When one dig, we all dig. Love you all. Drop a lot of love in chats. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. I appreciate every single one of you. Send me what you got. We're going to keep digging. Make sure that you roll around and catch Birdie tonight. He'll be on in a little bit. And you guys enjoy your night. We'll see you tomorrow. And guess what? Tomorrow is freaking Friday. Get ready. Get ready. We're all in on it. Be well.
Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air is sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round a fading light, seeking truth to make things right. We're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. A lesson that the heart burns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Are we the people, hear the call, every opportunity stands down for justice in the Idaho. For the silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled.